The VAR Show. The one place for your weekly football update.
He has played for the likes of Red Star Belgrade and Real Betis, and he has a very distinguished playing career. And also, he has coached for many teams. And recently, he was the coach of Ceres Negros in Philippines, which is now not there. The club has changed its name to United Club, and so Risto has parted ways from the club. And so Risto, I think we'll start now, and because we are getting a lot of people coming in, so I'll start with Nishan. Nishan, do you have any question? We'll start with you this week.
Yeah, of course. Firstly, hello, coach.
Hello, how are you?
Yes. So I hope you are fine, and you have. I hope you are going a good time. So I just want to ask, as you have already managed Spanish side and Asian side, what's the main big difference that you find on Asian football and Spanish football?
The biggest difference between Asian football and Spanish football, I think, is the tactical preparation of the players. And all other things, physically, mentally, technically, I think it's similar. But I think tactically, the Spanish football is more prepared than Asian football.
Okay, thank you.
That's the big difference.
Okay, so we'll come back to you. And Ashish, do you have any question you can ask?
I don't have any questions right now. I'll go with go with the flow.
And I'll go ahead and ask.
Okay.
So I have a lot of questions which are piled up from a lot of people. So, Rishu, the first one comes from Mahesh, and he has asked how do you make training sessions better organized? Because sometimes what happens is when you go, you have a lot of ideas in your mind that you want to do this, but sometimes it happens that you cannot do it because there are a lot of things to focus on. How do you manage your sessions, or how do you organize your sessions well?
Depends when are you going to train, what time is that, if you are in the pre-season or you are in the competition, this big difference, if you are in the competition, then depends what the opponent you are facing on and what is your next game, and you have to prepare. Mostly if you are in the competition, you have the microcycle, if you play Sunday, so you can normally you watch your opponent, your next opponent, and then depends what you find his abilities, what you think is the key to win the game, so you have to practice on that. So if you focus on, in football we have 4 moments. There is attacking, defending, and the 2 transitions between from attacking to defense, from defense to attack. So normally in the preseason you have an idea how you want that your team plays. So, but during the championship, during the competition, you have to focus sometimes on the games, on the opponent. And we had a special situation this year and 2018 in the Champions League in the preliminary stage. The first game we played against the opponent who was similar like us from Myanmar, a club from the champion from Myanmar is the practically similar level like Philippines. And we played at home the first game, and we prepared like normal we play at home. So we played offensive football, and the next stage we get through the next stage, and we had an opponent who is much stronger than us. So we have to change completely the way how we play. So we are already 4 years together, and a team knows how to play in this kind of situation. But normally you are not prepared. Sometimes in 1 week you have to change totally your style of play, so it's not easy to prepare. And But normally you have the pre-season where you prepare your team how to defend, how to attack, and all that things. To make it easier for you, normally the training sessions, how I do it is in the warm-up, I try to prepare the players what is coming next after the warm-up. So always is the passing drills inside, always is ball in the warm-up. I'm trying to teach the players to play football, to be tactically good, to be organized, to be in any situation, any kind of situation, what they can find during the game. So, as I said before, we have 4 moments: the attacking, defending, and the 2 transitions. So, your team has to be prepared for all these 4 moments in the game. So, I'm trying to give them all the possibilities during the training session in the pre-season.
Of course, and I wanted to ask you one more thing. You mentioned microcycle over there, like in the beginning, that it depends on
Yeah.
your microcycle, and like many of the young coaches will not know what microcycle is. So, can you just explain what microcycle is?
It's a week between 2 games. You have if you play Sunday, so the week for the next game is the microcycle. You usually all of us, we have the similar microcycle habits. You know, we play a game on Sunday, then Monday normally some coaches they give off or day free after the game. Some of the coaches they give recovery training after the game, and the next day is day off. So if you play Sunday, the Monday is recovery and Tuesday is day off. And then Wednesday it's introduction training with maybe 75% intensity, and if you play on the next Sunday, on Wednesday you have introduction training, and then Thursday you prepare the game, actually, because it's the high intensity where you can push the players to 100% intensity. So Fridays you have to go down, lower intensity recovery training with some corner kicks, free kicks, whatever you want to practice during that session, but that intensity cannot be high, should be very low, because it's similar like the recovery training. And the training before the game, one day before the game, should be very short and high intensity. Very short but intense. So you can work on some tactical situations, what you think it's going to happen next day, and but very short, and because the player must be fresh in the game, so you cannot extend the training session for longer than 1 hour, with with the warm-up, with everything. So the players are going to play in optimal conditions in the next day.
Definitely. So, like on that note, before I ask my second question, which is sent in, I'll ask Edilu, do you have any questions? Please unmute yourself and ask, Eddie.
Have you heard now? Have you heard now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, my question is how can we control the load? We give something to the players in the pitch, but how can we control the load? It might be we give him the load, the training for as the coach said, microcycle. He became how he can be fit. For example, he might not be sleep well, or he might not be eat very good food. But how can we control his performance, his peak performance?
You know, you have some players, maybe they had not good night before the training session, but not everyone. You have more than 20 players in every session, so most of them they slept well those one they can rest that day and recover or do something different. But normally in normal situations, the professional players, they should control their nights, what they do during the night, to sleep well, to get recovered to the training session with 100% in optimal conditions, and they have to take care of what they're eating, about the food and everything. So if you cannot control that for your own, to give the players some menu how they have to eat during the home, when they stay at home, when they're not under control of the club. So it's very difficult for you to control everybody, because even in the professional leagues in Spanish, you cannot control the player. What is he doing at home? What is he eating at home? Nobody can control that. So we can control. What we can control is the training sessions and the kind of trainings. We can observe if somebody is under his level, what he normally is, or not. And you can see if you have some exercises with high intensity, you can see immediately who is not on the 100% level. So you can talk to the players and ask him if he is okay or not okay, if he is prepared, or if he cannot stand the training session. So that's not the problem. If it happens once a week or once a month, the problem is if you have many cases during the month, then you have a big problem. You cannot control that, so you cannot prepare optimal your team. But if you have some cases can happen that somebody doesn't sleep during the night, then it's no problem to give him rest that day. Sometimes it's better to give the rest to the player than to force him to train, because he can get injured.
Okay, so Edil, you have any question?
Yeah,
I have one question.
I'm not sure.
You can carry on.
I heard about you starting, but I want to know about the preseason. Which training components we should have to focus on the fitness, or on the tactic, or the technique. Which part of components we have to focus on when we are starting preseason trainings, and how we are. How do we know about that the player he became his peak performance?
That's very easy. Many coaches have the same problem, because they separate physical conditions from football, from technique, from tactic. For me, football training session must be all in one, all together. We cannot separate physical trainings from football. We have to put it all together. If you have training session, there must be technical, tactical, physical. All what football needs must be in the same training session. You cannot separate. It's very easy to make training session like physically, just pure physically training session. You just put cones on the pitch and you let them run around the cones, and that's very easy. But they don't get anything from tactic, from technique, from ball controlling, from that situation. So we have to. That's why now it's very hard to be a coach, because you cannot rest. You have to think about your training session. You have to prepare the training session very, very carefully, so that the players have all the elements they need for playing a game. They need tactic, they need technique, they need physics, they need optimal intensity to be prepared. So, but it's not so complicated. The easiest way is, if you have an idea, what do you want from your player, is to let them play and just to teach them how they have to move during the game. And they have all that in tactic, technique, and physics also inside the game. because if we separate, we are wasting time. We cannot have so many training sessions during the pre-season because you have 6 weeks to prepare or sometimes less. And if you waste your time only on the physique, you are not tactically prepared. So we have to put all together.
Thank you.
Sure. If you have any question, please go ahead. Someone had question that time.
I have one question. Hello, sir.
Yeah, I hear.
Yeah. So I would like to ask one question. Suppose if you are playing a professional match, just like you are playing a professional match after 1 week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the main part that you analyze from the opponent team, and how would you change the training session according to that?
Yeah, as I said before, we had a special situation during the Champions League preliminary stage.
Yeah, Champions League, just like yes.
We played against similar team like us, and we played very offensive football this day against the Myanmar club. And the next week we faced against Thailand team, so they're much stronger than us, against stronger team than us. So we have to be prepared to play very defensively organized, to don't to give them a lot of space, to cut the space, to reduce the space that they cannot play. So we played defensively football at that game. So it's totally opposite what we are actually usually doing, because normally we are playing very offensive with ball possession and everything. And the next game was totally different. So we have to play defensively. And that week, the 2 days, as I said, we had that 1 week to prepare the game. So we recovered 2 days, and then we start with training sessions. The first training sessions was focus on the defense, and then we put players. We played 4-4-2 system, and put the player together, and all the movements we practice on these 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday. So we came and we played the game outside, and we won 0-1. It was not especially very good game because we played very defensively, but maybe we had 2-3 opportunities and we scored 1 goal, but we win, and we played very good defensively. So, and the next game after that game was also a very strong opponent, was a Japanese champion. We played against a Japanese champion, so it's more harder even than the Thailand team. So, and we repeat the same. We made similar trainings, not the same, but focused on the same tactics: how to defend, how to be stronger in defense, how to cover each other, how to reduce the space for the opponent. But anyway, we lose 2-0 there.
How to mark the players.
But the players, they did a very good game. They played very good tactically, and obviously when you play against much better opponent, it's not easy to defend. Even if you prepare the good game, you can lose because somebody is better, and you can do anything if somebody is much better than you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Nishan, do you have any question?
Yeah, still, my question is about regarding the Asian football. Risto, as you have been appointed the coach of United City FC since the last 4 years, what do you think is the most rapidly changed thing about this Asian football in the last 3 to 4 years, mainly of the Philippines league?
Sorry, no, I didn't understand because I lost you for a moment.
No, as I'm telling that as you are appointed the United City FC's coach from since last 4 years, what do you think is the most rapidly changed thing that you have been analyzing since the last 4 years in the Asian Football League?
As I told you before, I insist in every training session to to do tactic things, because physically the football players all around the world basically are prepared, tactically, physically, technically and physically, all the players are similar. But the difference between European football and Asian football is on the tactics. So I was working almost on the tactics, how to move, what movements we have to do, especially in defense. Attacking, it's some natural thing. Every player wants to. It's very easy to force him to attack because every player has natural instincts to go up and score goals, especially if they play in attack. But the defense is much more important for to involve all the players, because in Europe all the players has to be involved in the defense. The strikers, the wingers, everyone has to be involved. So it's not easy when you come to some countries. The football player is just focused on attacking, and he never defends before. So that was the most important thing for me to bring the team together. That everybody works for the team, and even if it's the hard work to defend, to bring the players from the attack to defend all together, to work for the team. It's usually the attack players, they're working only for themselves. They want to score goals and they think everything is done. So to convince them to play for the club, for the team, it's not easy. So it takes time, but I think in 2-3 months, 4 months, insisting in the every training session to bring them together, to defend all together, and how to defend all together, it becomes very important for us, and that's why we has a big success in all these 4 years.
Yeah, so how far have you seen the future of these Asian players, including any other South Asian players too?
I think they have good conditions to play football, especially this part of Asia where I worked for 4 years. I think they have good condition. They're physically very prepared. They can run a lot, technically also. But the only thing they need to learn is the tactic, because the coaches in Asia, they're still working on the old way. They separate the physics from the football, from tactics. So they have different training sessions. They sometimes working 2-3 days only on the running without ball, and this is not, you cannot learn football if you're only running behind the cones and around the cones. It's not good for the football player. So I think we have to put the training session all together. So they have running, they have playing football, and tactics is very important, how to teach them to move together and play together as a team.
Okay, thank you.
So I have one question on that. Like you said, how you do not like or do not prefer people running around in cones, being a footballer, and it should be combined, like you said. Then how do you coach your defense? Because you said it's difficult to coach your defense and ask the forward to come and defend, because people generally want to score goal. How do you coach your defense without maybe cones? What do you do?
We are playing games. Sometimes I reduce the groups in 4 against 4. I put 4 players and 4 players in front and put 3 goals behind them. So the players, they try to score a goal with only 1 touch. So it is on the side, on the box, where the box is, I put 3 goals, and they defend all the 3 goals. But they cannot go to defend the players, So they just movements together to move one side where the ball is and cover each other, cover the space that they cannot put the ball between the lines, between them to score. So they move. They learn these movements, and then I put 8 players. They move together, and then I pull all the team. They move together. So it's It's how they work together, how they just cover the space. They don't have to press, they don't have to have duels one-on-one, nothing, just to learn how to defend together some tactical situations. And usually if you have the movements, if you see the European football, all that movements, you can see how the team is slicing during one side to other side, where depends where the ball is. Always is important to have the ball in the training sessions.
And like, how long did it take for you to implement that, like for you?
That's not it doesn't take long time that they understand what you need. The thing is, you have to involve some players. They don't have the habits to do that. If sometimes they do it in the training, but in the game they think, I'm a striker, I don't have to defend. So you have to repeat and repeat and repeat. And after, when they see during the game that it's easier to defend when you defend all together, even the teammates are complaining when they are not doing that, and they remind them to do it. So it's not only your job. If the team is, when the team see that works, then they asking from the player, hey, come on, I want to see you defend also. So it's not only your job. So everyone is involved in that kind of situation, especially when once they understand that it's very important that everyone is defending, it's much more easier.
Definitely. And like, I'll ask Ashit, do you have anything to ask before I again ask? I can't hear you. Yeah.
Yes. I have one question. Just like I think the difference between the Asian football and just like European football is that in Asian European football, the strikers, there are three in the striker. Just like the strikers plays like winger and striker too, both. And how is it necessary? Just like how to make the formation? I just like. In Asian football, if there is so-called winger, it works as a winger. It goes and up and down. And in the European football, just like whenever you watch Barcelona, there are the three playing attackers, just like Suarez, Messi, and Neymar maybe. So they work. The striker works like winger. So how to work on that formation?
Yeah, but usually when you are playing possession football, attacking football,
yes.
Your players, to create space, they need to move. They need to move a lot to create space for other players. So if you play, depends what kind of system you're playing. But in this case, Barcelona system is constantly rotating the positions. One player is moving on the side, the other one is going in the middle, and always creating space for others. They can use this space to create opportunities. So that's a long story, because Barcelona plays like from the youth to the first division. They play all the same system, and they learned it from the youth, how to move, how to combine, how to change the position, and how to create space for other players. They can come inside, and they're constantly moving. So that because if you are attacking constantly, and if all European clubs, they know how to defend, if you are not moving, you cannot create any space, because it's very difficult.
Yeah.
The teams are very compact.
In European football, the right backs and the left backs, all the defenders are quick as wind, So I think that's the difference between Asian football and maybe European football. The defender also works as an attacker. I think that is the thing that differentiates the Asian and European football.
It's not only that, the thing is, football in Europe is
quite different.
It's much more money in the football in Europe than in Asia. and
Asia.
you
Yeah.
can buy best players. You can.
Yes.
There are many schools in Europe. They have best facilities to train. So it's much more easier to make a football player in Europe than in Asia, because in this case I worked in Philippines and we had only one place, only one pitch where we can train. So it was artificial grass, and it's big difference if you train in artificial grass or natural grass. And in Europe you go out on the street and you can find training pitches everywhere, training stadiums,
Everywhere.
and you can see kids playing football and football schools all around in the city. You know, it's much bigger, and they have much more opportunities where to find the players. You know, so I give you an example from Philippines. It's a country from 100 million people, and they have only one stadium where they can play.
Yeah.
So that's the big difference. I think
That's the big
if you
difference.
want to develop football, you need much more
stadiums.
facilities and more coaches, more prepared people, but in condition wise, for me, the Asian players, they have even more conditions to be good football players than the European players. There is no difference. They are not better they don't have better conditions than the Asian players. I'm 100% sure.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
we'll move on. So, Syed, please unmute yourself and ask what question you have.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I would just like to ask if how much physicality plays, how important is physicality in Asian football, and like compared to other countries, you must have played with countries where, physicality plays a very important role, and how does Asia fare with other continents and countries?
I was talking before about physicality. For me, physicality comes if you are training every day. The physicality is there. So if you are playing football every day, you will be prepared for playing football. So there is no big secret how to get physically prepared. You put the kids to play every day, they are prepared for playing football. So you don't need special condition trainings to be prepared. For me, the most important thing is, like I said before, tactically, technically, and understand the game. That's the most important thing, that the players understand the game, how to defend, how to attack, how they have to defend together, and everything. For me, it's much more important than all other things. Physicality, it comes. It's very easy to be physically prepared. If you train every day, you can be in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. If you play games, if you train every day, you will be ready. There is no big secret. I think there are much more important things that we have to be focused on.
Definitely. And I'll move on from that.
So I have a follow-up.
Okay, please go ahead.
I have a follow-up question to that. Like we have seen many a times when we saw Japan face Belgium in the World Cup, in the 2018 World Cup. It actually came down to the physicality itself at the end of the game, and then we have seen certain instances where North Korea in 2002, South Korea in the 2002 World Cup, defeated many teams which had greater, were fared better than them when it came to physicality. So just training every day does it, or do you have to maintain a diet, or what are the things that you have to do to match up to those levels?
Of course, you have to take care of your diet. You have to take care of your body in any way. So I think it's all the things are important. You can see now players, they playing until 40 years. So you can see Cristiano Ronaldo is still on the top with 35 years. There are some players, they close to 40s and they are still playing. So we moved a little bit forward in question of physicality, but I think the training sessions, they changed, because in my time when I was a player, we worked separately physicality from football, and we were worse prepared than the players actually. So, and the methodology changed. Everybody is now trying in Europe to play football, to teach the players. Everything is involved. Everything is inside the training session. Nobody separates the physicality from the playing football. So, and the players are better prepared than maybe 20 years ago. So I think that's the point. We are preparing the players to play football, and we have to do that in the training sessions. We have to try to equalize the intensity from the game to put it in the training session. And I think that's the optimal training session. Whatever we want to do, we have to put some segments from the game. So if we want to work on the defense, we have to put segments from the game, how we defend, where we defend, what we do, and the same intensity. Like we have to try to get the same intensity like in the game, at least 2 times a week. If we're talking about microcycles.
Sir, on a different topic now. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. On a different topic now. So, how important are what number of practice matches should be played before an actual professional match, so that the players are not tired, but at the same time get all the necessary adjustments that they can make to the game?
For me, the same. During the competition, I think we have to do the pre-season like we train in the competition. During the competition, we have to make some microcycles during the pre-season and train the same way. We have to play games. Because the game is the best test. You can see how your players are prepared. You can see everything in a game. If you do tests like without running from cone to cone to see and take the blood from wherever, so you cannot see how your players are prepared tactically. You cannot see how they prepare technically. You cannot see other things. The most important things you cannot see. You just can see physically if they are running from cone to cone good or not. Even if they're running good from cone to cone, maybe during the game they are not going to running the right way. So I think for me the game is the best test you can make, and there you have to observe how your team is working, how your team is running, if they're running correctly or not. That's the most important thing. It's not important to make tests. They means anything. They don't give you anything for you. Just give you how many times he can run from cone to cone. That means anything. So, but the game gives you everything. All the situation from your team is in the game. So for me, the best test you can do during the preseason is playing games. Every game, you can play games every week during the preseason. That's not the problem. You prepare microcycles like during the competition, and you see every game how your team is growing. So you can follow, you can record the games, you can analyze it, you can analyze everything, how your team is moving tactically, how physically they are, how prepared they are, and you can correct the players, you can talk to them and ask more for the next game, and you can individually talk to the players. And if you show to the player what is he doing on the pitch, how is he running, if he is running more or less, he can better understand if you show him on the video what mistakes he makes. Everything is allowed during the preseason. The players, if you show him on the video what mistakes what he is doing good, so he has to repeat what is he doing good. So everything he can see better on video than in a test. If you put him to run from cone to cone, that's for me it's useless. And the best test is game. Definitely.
That was very insightful, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I'll ask you one more. Like this was a sentient question. Like, suppose, like for your own self, how do you develop your coaching philosophy? Like, how do you know how do you want to play? Is it just because if you coach for a long time, do you develop that, or how is it?
The way you play is depending on your players. As I tell you before, you have the 4 moments. You have the players should know how they have to defend and how they have to attack. So it's up to you. It's up to the. If you are coaching a big club in a country where the players are much better than the rest, obviously you are going to playing offensive football, and you are obviously you are going to work on offensive football, so you can prepare the offensive style of play. But if you are playing in a country where your club is from the middle of the table to down, so you have to prepare the players to work more defensively, to try to counter-attack or to play different football than offensive, because you're technical, maybe you are technically not better than the rest of the team. So it depends on the players. What do you have in your hands so you can work on that?
Definitely. So anyone has any questions? Nishan, any question?
As I've already told that as a coach, like how much it is like important to interact with the players of the team.
For me, I'm not a coach who is talking too much. I'm just during the training session, maybe I interrupt maybe 2 times when something is really important, and I'm analyzing every game we played with them together, and I bring them the good points and the bad points also. So what we have to improve, what we have to keep doing good, and what I see during the game, and then I'm trying to always to show them a video, which is the best for me, where the players you cannot lie them when you said, okay, you are not moving good here. If they see it, they will understand. It's the best way to teach the players to understand what you want from them. Show them on video. So I'm interacting every time I need to interact, because sometimes if everything is sometimes it's not good that you interact too much, because the players take the habit that you're always screaming on the line, and then they don't care about you in a long period. If you sometimes just from time to time you go to them and tell them, hey, okay, we stop the training, we are not doing good, we have to improve this and this, and then they will understand. But if you all the time screaming on the line, it's not good. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, so like it's good, but I'm following up on it. Like, after the match, do you even talk to the players individually for analyzing the match, or like do you end up with the post-match briefings?
I never talk to the players after the game, right away after the game, because the player is tired after the training, and after the game I never talking to them, because the players are exhausted. They cannot understand what we're talking to them. They tired, and when somebody is tired, if you're talking to him, is useless. So I let them next day, and next day we talk when everything is calmed down, and it's easier to talk to them, and to bring them your messages. They will better understand if you talk to them the next day when they get rest, and they are focused on what are you talking about. After the game, directly after the game, after the training is not good. You can talk to them after the game, no problem, but I think the message is not, they are not going to get it.
Okay, so thank you.
Question, Shuba.
Yeah,
Sorry?
please.
Yeah, coach. As you said before, and also every coach has his own um philosophy playing side. And what your philosophy, especially in terms of team shaping and the defensive third and the mid third and the final third? What do you need the shape of the players? What do you want to expect from the players? Your the team shape, and what is the important thing is you need to from the players to do it from your playing philosophy.
For me, the most important thing is that the players are comfortable in the team, that they are playing on the right position, they are enjoying that position, that everybody is happy where is he playing. So everyone, if I'm always used to ask the players if he is comfortable on that position, where he likes to play. And he told me I like to play central defender or midfielder. I put him there. So I can demand much more from a player who is playing on his right position, where is he enjoying, than if I put him somewhere else where he not enjoys. So I'm trying to get from the players the best what they have on at every position. And it's very important that every player is comfortable where he plays at that moment. And there is no, there is no secret. You never know what kind of team you will get. There are different teams, so you have to try always the same. You have to try always to get the best from the player. If the players are motivated to play, are motivated to do what you ask from them, then you are a good coach. Because they follow you, they follow your instructions, and they do what you ask from them. So it's, for me, the most important thing is that the player is on the right position where he likes to play.
Yeah, some coaches are they consider about shape, the player shape. For example, when you are building up, uh, uh, you need to have to the player's position, team shape. What type of shapes you expecting from the players when you are building up and in the mid third and the final third?
Yeah, if you want to play build up from the goalkeeper, playing it's what usually most of the teams trying to do. And sometimes if you have good technically players, technically defenders, they're good technically, you can, of course, you can ask from them to build up from the back. But sometimes if you don't have this kind of players, you have to ask from them to play easy football, to try to play straight the ball to the midfielders, and they can build up. If you depends on the players what you want to do, what kind of football you want to play. If you want to build up, you need very technically very good players. If you have technically good players, you can demand from them that you want to build up. That's not a problem. And of course, the positioning is important, but you can all the things. Like I said before, you can work on in training sessions. You put two teams, one team is pressing, another team is building up. It's very easy. But you have, as I said, you need very, very good players technically to play build up football.
Definitely. Really, do you have anything?
Yeah, I have one question, follow-up question. Not this question, my question, but the previous question. Do you know Rene Marek, this Borussia Mönchengladbach assistant coach? He was in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, at one time. He gave us 2 days like a conference. I learned from him. He said that I spent more than 80 up to 100 time per week in within the pitch, and he spent 2 training hours, but he's staying in the pitch, talking with the players. Have you such kinds of experience talking with players, and how do you get it that that is really better to know about the feeling of the player, especially individual players, even with talking with groups like that?
Yeah, it's very important to know, to have individual speeches with the or meetings with the players. You can drink a coffee with the player. You don't have to talk about with him on the pitch. But anyway, it's very important to know how your players feel, how your players. Sometimes the player can have a problem if you don't talk to him. You never know in which condition is your player. So it's very important to know everything about your players. That's our job, to know how the player feels, how the player is, if the player is prepared, especially during the competition, during the competition stage, during the championship. You know, if you have some players, they're not feeling good, they have some family problems or whatever, they are not 100% prepared, so they're not 100% focused, because many things are important for a player to play good. He needs to be physically prepared, technically prepared, tactically, and especially has to be focused on what he has to do. So if he is not focused, if he is focused on other things, it's not a good thing for your team. If you have 3 players, they're not focused, you can lose the game. So everything is important. You, as a coach, it's our mission to be informed about everything, about all the things that are around us, what the team needs, like food, like sleeping, like everything. We have to know more or less. We have to know all about our players, what we have. And you know, sometimes if you have confidence with your players, the players will tell you if they are not in good conditions to play or not. So that's why it's very important to have a close relation with the players.
You haven't. Okay, so we'll move on. Nishan, do you have anything to ask?
No, I'm done with everything.
Okay, so I'll ask
I have
Ashish.
last one. Okay. I have one last question. Just like you're a coach, you're at high level. You know, how would you tell your players to play position football? You know, which part of training you will do to make a totally position football? You know, just like when Pep Guardiola was in Barcelona, the team tactics, the passing was tiki taka, and when he moved on to Bayern, the Bayern was totally the passing team. You know, when Pep Guardiola was there. So as a coach, how would you make the players just like on working on balls and position gaming?
Well, it's very simple. You have to work on the pitch.
Yeah.
All what you want from the players, you are working, insisting,
Yeah.
correcting
Yeah.
them, and the work on the pitch with ball. That's why I'm insisting to all the coaches when I'm talking with all the coaches. They're asking me, physical is important, tactical. I'm always trying to tell them the same thing. It's very important to practice, but practice football. What do you want from the players? How you want them to play? And you put on the pitch and you work on this. And because the players are running much more with the ball than without ball, because they are more motivated to run when the ball is inside, when they have to fight for something, when they compete between each other. If you're running around, you are competing with yourself, and that's very, very boring for the players. So for me, you can prepare training sessions where you are practicing all that things, how you want to play. If you want to play tiki-taka football, just practice that, and every day you can repeat different training sessions, but always with ball.
So, in your point of view, which type of football you like? Just like there are in two teams, Barcelona is a totally passing team and Real Madrid is a attacking team. Which team do you prefer, and which kind of attack? Position football or attacking football? Which football do you like in your point of view?
For me, football is, for me, it's about winning. If your team is winning is everything is better. The atmosphere in the team is better. Everyone is happier. And if you bring your team to win, then your job is well done. So, for me, the most important thing is not if you have the possession. For me, the most important thing is where you have the possession. If you have the possession with your goalkeeper and your central defenders, this possession for me is useless. You're just in risk to lose the ball and to receive a goal. But if your possession is on the opponent's half and you are dominating the opponent, that's for me very, very good possession. So depends the way how you want to see it. For me, for example, there is only one goal why you are doing build-up football, because the other team is pressing, and if you build up, it's to get them tired. But you cannot score the goal from your own goal, so it's very risky. But you get the opponent tired because they're running, they're pressing from side to side. So that's why Barcelona in the beginning they did build up play. But now if you watch games from Manchester United, from Manchester City, where Guardiola now, they are playing long balls. And they cannot go out, they play long balls, no problem. So I think if the build-up has a goal and you reach that goal because you want to get tired the opponent, it's okay. But you cannot do every time. If your team is in risk to receive a goal, it's better to play easier. Because everything is football. Every way of play is football. So nothing is prohibited in football. You can play long balls and press for the second ball, or you can build up however you want to play. If you get result, then your way of play is good.
Yeah. Because in my point, I think if someone plays just like a position football, it will be the players will get comfortable, just like a little bit comfortable to dribble. Just like that's why I asked you this question.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to. If you have good players like Guardiola in Barcelona, he has the best generation in history, I think. So it's easier to play this kind of football. But he changed also his way of play now in Manchester City because he doesn't have the same kind of players now.
The same kind of players, yes. Players also matter.
That's the most important.
Thank you for all this. Yes. Okay, thank you for all this. But I would like to ask you a little bit off-topic question. You watched the last match against Barcelona and Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask you some questions to make the analysis on this defeat of Barcelona. Would you make some analysis there how the Barcelona team lose?
Yeah, we talked about that during the conversation many times. I mentioned that because for me, you saw how Bayern is playing, and most of the clubs are playing the same way. Everyone is involved. Everyone is defending. Everyone is attacking. Everyone is involved in the work of the team. But Barcelona has a big problem now. There are some players they are not involved in defending, and when they have to defend, they defend with maybe 2 or 3 players less. So it's very hard on that level to get good result if you have 3 players they are not defending. So that's why they are now in the descending way, and they are not.
Yes.
They didn't won anything, not even the Spanish league, because they
Yeah.
have many players they are not involved in the defense. So for me, it's the biggest reason why they get nothing from all the competition this year.
Is it about coach? Maybe the coach their tactics did not work. He also got sacked. I think the next coach Koeman. How is it? How can he form up the Barcelona?
Yeah, depends. It's how if he can reach to involve all the players to work hard for the
Yeah.
team, I think he will be successful, because Barcelona always has good players. So, but the thing this year was because nobody was involved nobody was working hard.
Yeah.
It was a big difference between, even here in the Spanish league, they lost many games because
Yes.
they are not all the players are not involved in the in fighting for the team and working hard, and which is the most important thing.
That's most important thing. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I have one last question before we
Thank you,
wrap
sir.
up. Risto, there's a question from Mohammad Irfan. So he has said that since we spoke about so much microcycle and many of them do not know, that do you have any sample microcycle that or PDF or something that you can share?
I don't have it here, but I can send you. I can
Sure.
send you to your. We can talk. I will let you my
Sure.
phone number and my email, and then I can send you how
Sure, I'll
how
do
it
that.
looks like.
He
No
just
problem.
asked me that. Thank you so much, Risto, for coming and making this possible. And hope to see you in management soon. Take care, stay
Thank
safe.
you very much. Thank you. See you.